With what's going around the world at this point, you and I know we could expect World War III. Well, what exactly is America's role in this? And how exactly do we see the next World War coming? Let's see it in today's episode. Hey folks, welcome back once again to another exciting episode. So, what are you guys waiting for? Like, share, and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of the stuff that is waiting for you here. So far, Russia's attack on Ukraine continues. However, we could say World War III has never been more close. As Russian soldiers hammered Kiev and other towns, Western nations have been exceedingly wary to avoid direct combat with President Vladimir Putin. And that's the man who possesses the world's greatest nuclear arsenal and has made no secret of it. Meanwhile, Western allies are delivering weaponry and other equipment to Ukraine, but have ruled out implementing a no-fly zone. The European Union is sending air defense systems, but has refused Ukraine's request for fighter planes. And there has been no offer of soldiers from any country. Nonetheless, senior Western government officials, diplomats, and military strategists recognize that the United States and other NATO allies are now at severe risk of being dragged into the conflict at nearly any time as a result of any number of scenarios. One is an error. They launch a missile toward Poland. That is not impossible, and it rapidly rises. Or the outrage against crimes against humanity is so high that America feels required to take what they believe to be restricted and prudent action. The imposition of a no-fly zone results in the death of Russians. Anything they do that leads to the death of Russians takes the whole world towards World War III. Throughout the 8 months of conflict in Ukraine, President Joe Biden has maintained a consistent stance on the Russian invasion. His objective is to assist Ukraine in winning while simultaneously ensuring that success does not trigger a third world war. However, as Russian forces have suffered military reverses because of U.S. assistance in recent days, Putin has responded by increasing the pressure. Given that Putin is keeping Ukraine and the rest of the world hostage to his demands, it's unclear how Washington will be able to pursue both aims concurrently. Negotiating now would appear to be an enormous surrender in and of itself to Putin's brutality and willingness to threaten nuclear war. However, it is not just Trump supporters who have increased their calls for a negotiated solution since Putin pledged in early September to employ all available weapon systems, and cautioned that this is not a bluff. Wait, is that correct? Over the weekend, Biden's national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, threatened Putin with a devastating reaction, that if he used battlefield nuclear weapons in Ukraine, American military authorities have not likely created a ton of serious choices for the U.S. to take in such a situation, including immediately entering the fight on Ukraine's side, the Third World War scenario that Biden has been so adamant about avoiding. While watching all of this, it's tough not to think about how many times the West has collectively failed to get Putin right or at all over the last 2 decades. But what did Putin really want? The Russian leader's first goal was to invade Ukraine and topple its government, thereby putting a stop to the country's aspirations to join the Western defense alliance NATO. After a month of setbacks, he abandoned his attempt to conquer Kiev and shifted his focus to Ukraine's east and south. When he launched the invasion on February 24, he told Russians that his purpose was to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine. His stated goal was to safeguard those who had been subjected to what he described as 8 years of bullying and genocide by Ukraine's government. Another goal was quickly added: maintaining Ukraine's neutral status. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov spoke of liberating Ukraine from oppression, while Foreign Intelligence head Sergei Naryshkin stated that Russia's future and role in the world are at risk with this action. Volodymyr Zelensky, Ukraine's democratically elected president, stated that the adversary has classified him as target number 1, with his family as target number 2. According to his advisor, the Russian military attempted to breach the presidential complex twice. Russia's Putin declined to label the situation as an invasion or a war. Moscow continues to refer to Europe's worst conflict since 1945 as a unique military operation. The charges of Nazis and genocide in Ukraine are entirely baseless, but they are a part of a story that Russia has been repeating for years. Ukraine's foreign minister, Dmytro Kuleba, said that it's insane. Sometimes they can't even describe what they're talking about. However, an editorial article published by the state-run news outlet RIA Novosti said firmly that denazification ultimately leads to de-Ukrainization, thereby eliminating the existing state. As we spoke before, it is Russia that is now being accused of war crimes by the world community. Several countries, like the United States and Canada, go so far as to declare it genocide. After so much devastation, Putin's words suddenly rang hollow. He said that it was not their intention to take Ukrainian land. They did not seek to impose anything on anybody by force. And as the unjustified conflict with Ukraine enters its 9th month, there is little chance that it will end soon. Rather, the conflict looks to be on the rise. Recently, Putin declared that he would call up 300,000 service members, and his accompanying address included some frightening warnings. Referring to the West's nuclear blackmail of Russia, Putin stated that his nation has different methods of devastation and, if threatened, would absolutely employ all the tools at its disposal. This follows Russia's alleged hostile actions near a Ukrainian nuclear power facility in August, and you and I know that those were obviously the most ridiculous acts. Shocking new findings from a global study revealed that the globe is taking these risks and their larger global consequences seriously. In a study of over 17,000 people from around the world, 3/4 agreed with the assertion that we are on the verge of World War III. In 5 nations, the number of individuals who believed that the world was on the verge of war increased beyond 80%, and that's from Indonesia, South Korea, Spain, Thailand, and the United States. Those aged 25 to 35 were the most concerned, with 76% concerned about nations coming closer to another global conflict. The critical word here is closer, which is a roughly comparable phrase, and I believe everyone might agree that we're a little bit closer than we were a year ago. But would I read that as a cause to believe that Armageddon is approaching and that we should all begin stockpiling items in our basements? No way, I don't see it that way. Other experts say that there is no need to panic. They do not feel the situation is that bad. They believe Putin's new warnings are more a reflection of Russia's lack of success in Ukraine and its deteriorating global status. Anyways, do you guys think that Putin is trying to become a menace to the entire world, or is it something else? And most importantly, how many of you guys think that we are nearing the next World War? Drop your views in the comments section below. So finally, coming to the end of today's episode, please share your thoughts on today's video in the comments area below. That's all we've got for today. Make sure to subscribe to our channel if you want to see more videos like this one. While you're at it, enable post alerts so you don't miss any of our future uploads. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like. We hope you had a good time watching the video. We'll see each other again at the next one.